Hi everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name's Lizzie and today I have a show and tell video for you. I've got 3 things to show you in this video that I've made since the beginning of the year, and the first one is this dress, which you may have seen already if you follow me on Instagram. I'll put my Instagram handle in the description below in case you don't follow me already. And it is this dress. It is a Deer and Doe Myosotis dress, and I've made it in this gorgeous viscose crepe that I bought from Sister Mintaka. This was one of those fabric purchases where I saw Sister Mintaka post it on her Instagram stories and I just had to have it. I love this kind of fabric shopping because I think sometimes when you're after fabric and you kind of know vaguely what you want, or you're looking for something to inspire you, you can end up scrolling through all the fabric shops and not necessarily finding anything that really sings to you, and you can end up buying some things that you really like but aren't necessarily loves. This one just popped up on my Instagram and I just knew I had to have it. It was, you know, that's like fabric destiny, I think. And I really like it. So I'll put some images and so that you can see it in a bit more detail. But the Deer and Doe Myosotis dress has got, I'm not sure what kind of collar this is called, but it's got like a proper little, almost like a collar stand on it. And then it comes down into a V and it's got 3 buttons. These buttons I really enjoy. They are buttons that I bought from a little haberdashery shop that we stumbled across on a city break in Lisbon several years ago. I've held on to them ever since and was delighted to find a project to use them on. I think they've got this sort of grey-blue centre with some gold around the edge, and I just think it's a really lovely little detail and it works well with the colours. It's got a couple of darts here. I actually had to do a small bust adjustment that meant that the side dart completely disappeared, so I actually only have the lower waist dart here. And then it goes down into a gathered skirt. It's got pockets, of course, like every good handmade dress. I added waist ties to mine because I wanted to be able to give it a bit more shape, to be able to bring it in around my waist. And I also lengthened the sleeves. So the Deer and Doe Myosotis pattern actually comes with 2 sleeve variations. One is short sleeved and one is short sleeved with like ruffles. But I just lengthened the sleeve and I added some elastic in the cuffs to just bring the sleeve in at the end. And I also lengthened the dress, so I lengthened it by 13 centimetres. So again, I just used sort of the more simple version of the dress and just lengthened it. What other adjustments did I make? Oh yeah, I also raised the armholes by 1 centimetre. So I've actually already made a Deer and Doe Myosotis dress in a leopard print fabric and I did a full fitting video on it. So I'll put that in the corner of the screen now and link it below in case any of you want to know more detail about the fit adjustments that I made to this pattern. I love it when I've already made the pattern once before, because I'd already gone through the full fitting process, the full toiling process, made all my pattern adjustments with my leopard print Myosotis dress. So it meant that this one I could literally just cut it out and sew it. I love that when you don't actually have to worry about sort of trying it on and oh, is the fit going to be right? You can just get on and sew it. The colours are definitely what drew me to this fabric. It's got this really unusual kind of feather. I think on the website, I don't think they have this fabric anymore at Sister Mintaka, but it was called Harpy Viscose Crepe. And I just love this feather fabric. The real selling point for me is that it's on a navy blue base. That for me means that it's super versatile because it's the kind of colours that I would happily mix with black in the winter. So I've been wearing this with like a polo necked t-shirt like this underneath, in black or in white for a bit of warmth, or even just on an ordinary sort of scoop neck or v-neck long sleeve top underneath, with tights and boots, like thick black tights, black boots, like knee-length boots, and I think it looks really good for a winter look. But I'm also really looking forward to wearing this in the summer because the navy blue and the sort of warm red and mustard yellow, the brighter blues, it makes it a really nice fabric for the summer weather too, which I can obviously then wear with like bare legs and, you know, maybe a vest top underneath or whatever. So yeah, I'm really hoping that this will be a really versatile make that I can wear almost all year round. I did almost have a disaster when I was cutting this out because I kind of didn't double check that I had enough fabric before I started cutting, which was a bit foolish. So it got to cutting out the sleeves, which was the last thing I had to cut out, and I didn't have enough fabric left, and I was absolutely devastated because I'd already cut out all the other pieces. It was literally just the sleeves left to cut. I almost cut one of the sleeves out on the cross grain, but in a drapey fabric I just thought that was probably a really bad idea because I was worried it might mean that the fabric sort of drapes and stretches in the wrong way. I did that mistake before with a different garment, and yeah, cutting the sleeves on the cross grain was not a good idea, and I didn't want to risk it with this. So actually, the eagle-eyed amongst you might be able to tell that this sleeve is actually cut out of 3 pieces. So it's got 2 seams in it. It's got a seam here and another seam here. But actually, I bet you probably didn't notice that, did you? So yeah, just a happy outcome for what could have been a disaster. So I guess the learning points are: check the fabric, Lizzie, before you cut it out. Make sure that you've got enough. But actually, it was a really good save, and yeah, I was very relieved to be able to squeeze it out of the fabric after all, even with a few extra seams. The second thing that I've made this year is a bra. I've finally jumped into lingerie sewing, and I think it's going to become a bit of a new obsession because I loved it. I've been wanting to make a bra and get into lingerie sewing for ages. It's one of my sewing resolutions for this year. I'm pretty sure it was also one of my sewing resolutions for the previous year, but I've finally done it. For Christmas I was bought the Geordie bralette kit from Emerald Erin. Check her out, she's got an Instagram page called Emerald Erin Sews. She has an Etsy shop, her own website, and also a YouTube channel with some really helpful videos. And I have made the Geordie bralette. This is what it looks like. I'll pop in some pictures so you can see it in a bit more detail. But essentially it's a really sweet and very simple bralette with triangular shaped cups, some sort of standard width bra straps, a really nice thick band that goes under your boobs. But it's got a proper bra fastening on the back, which is one of the features I really like about this bralette. It's not a proper bra, but it's also more than just sort of a crop top type bra. It's got a proper, a proper bra fastening at the back with, with 2 clips. And it was actually a really simple sew. I made sure to take my time with it. I watched the full kind of sew along on Emerald Erin's YouTube channel. I'm so glad that I had the kit. The kit, you basically have to buy the pattern and the kit separately. So it's a PDF pattern. But the kit comes with the fabric, so it comes with this sort of bra tulle fabric and this nice sheer. There's various different colours, mostly sort of neutral colours, sort of various different shades of skin tones, white and black. And I, thought the black would be good for me. And yeah, I really like that despite it being a very simple sew for my first bra, it's quite, it's quite nice, like a nice sheer bra. It's certainly not just like a sort of plain boring bra. But yeah, I'm really glad that I got the kit because the kit comes with the fabric and it comes with all the different types of elastics. You actually need 3 different types of elastic to make this bra. You need the strap elastic, you need the fold over elastic for around the edges of the cups, or you can use picot elastic, and then you also need this thick elastic for around your back, and then you need the bra fastener, and you also need the rings and loops, whatever they're called, rings and sliders for the bra straps. So there's a lot of things that you need. I enjoyed sewing this so much that I've already got a bunch of stuff in various online shopping baskets from various different shops to try and order more supplies to make more. This was a huge success in that it's made me realise that bra making is not as scary and as intimidating as I first thought it was, but this one isn't quite perfect. The fit is not quite right. The fit's a little bit small. I think I used a slightly too large a seam allowance on this, the seam along the middle of the cup, so that will have taken out some of the volume from the cup, but it's just not quite big enough. My boobs don't quite fit into it, which is obviously a bit of a problem. But I'm going to make another one, and I might even unpick this one to kind of recycle the elastics and findings. But I did really like the pattern, so I've printed out the pattern. The instructions are really good, the instructions are really clear, and it comes with a proper size guide. Like, it talks you through how to measure yourself, so it talks you through basically how to calculate your bra size. And lo and behold, I know all the adverts tell you that the majority of women are wearing the wrong bra size, but I really had no clue what my bra size was. I mean, to be confirmed, because as I said, this one did come up a little bit small, but that might be due to my inaccurate sewing as opposed to the sizing of the pattern. But yeah, you measure your underbust and your full bust, and then you use that to calculate your cup size. Yeah, so I'm just really excited to source some more supplies and try making this again with a larger cup size. It's fine, it fits me fine in terms of around the back. It's just the cup size that is a little bit small. This has also completely inspired me to figure out how to combine bra making with making knickers and making underwear, which actually is not as easy as I thought it would be, because you need different types of fabrics to make bras and knickers. So you generally want to use fabrics for making a bra that don't have much stretch or any stretch, because otherwise they wouldn't be supportive. But of course, to make a pair of knickers you need stretchy fabrics. So I'm kind of getting my head around how I could, I think what I'm probably going to do, because I want to make matching sets. I think that's surely going to be the whole joy of learning to make my own underwear, is that, you know, I could make one bra and like several pairs of knickers in the same fabric combinations and have, you know, a bunch of sets. So I think what I'm going to try and do is go down the route of buying sort of stretch lace, for example, or a nice stretch jersey sort of fabric that I would want to make like underwear out of visually in terms of what it looks like. So buy the fabric that's a stretch fabric so it's suitable for the underwear, but interline it or line it with a non-stretch fabric for the bra. So for example, I could use stretch lace, but I could line it with bra tulle to like remove the stretch element, basically. This is kind of all the thoughts that are just going through my head. And because this is the pattern that I've got and the pattern that I want to work on to perfect the fit, I want to stick with it. But finding this elastic and the right width of bra fastenings is really difficult. So I don't know if you can see, but the elastic basically has to be the correct width it has to be the same width as the bra fastener, basically. And it's really hard to find. In the UK anyway, it's really hard to find bra fasteners that are the same width as some like nice thick plush elastic. So I'm working on that. Once I've cracked it and found where I can source all this stuff from, I will let you guys know and give you all the links and everything else. But overall, I'm delighted to have properly started out on my bra making journey, and I'm hoping that this will be, you know, onwards and upwards from here. The final thing that I would like to show you today is this blouse. This is a leopard print Vogue V8 772 blouse. I'll put pictures in as usual so you can see it properly, but I've made view D, so this is the pattern that I'm sure you'll recognise because various people have spoken about it online on Instagram. I've made one of these before. I made view B, which is the Pussy Bow blouse version. I made it in a white tencel fabric and did a big like billowy puff sleeve hack. So I'll put links to that below if you'd like to go and have a look at it. But this time I've made view D, which is with a standard collar. This is the first time I've ever made anything with a collar, and I'm so pleased with how it worked out. I took it really slowly, I really took my time, but it's come out really well, I believe, if I do say so myself. In terms of the fabric, this is a viscose fabric that I bought from Rainbow Fabrics in Kilburn, and the buttons are ones that I had in my stash from my nanny's ginormous tin of buttons. I made very few adjustments to the pattern, I made the same fit adjustments that I made last time, so I did a small bust adjustment, and what else did I do? I made a 1/2 inch small bust adjustment on each side. I raised the armhole by 1 centimetre, and this time I actually lengthened it by 10 centimetres because I wanted it to be more of a tunic length shirt that would kind of cover my bum and cover my crotch. But I also like the idea of wearing it open, sort of over like a cami top and jeans, using it as a bit of a cover up, or like an extra layer in sort of the spring, summer months. And I realised that I didn't really need to make that adjustment myself. I was a bit foolish because I didn't realise that view E and F of this pattern are actually tunic length. I just hadn't really realised that the last 2 views are a bit longer anyway, so I could have just traced it off, but never mind, it worked out fine. I did have a few blunders when sewing this. So one is with the buttons. I'm hoping it's one of those things that no one else will really notice, but the eagle-eyed among you will notice that the buttons are a bit off here. So I've got too many buttons in this, in this space here. That's because I placed my buttons a bit too low without realising, but I'd already done the buttonholes before I figured that out. So it basically meant that this button, they all should have been shifted up 1. So this button was supposed to be here, but I didn't realise that until I'd already done the buttonholes. But I mean, I'm probably going to wear it with at least a couple of buttons open anyway, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, I'll learn to be more careful next time, because obviously once you've done the buttonholes and you've actually cut them, there's not really any turning back. But never mind, it's not that big of a deal. The cuffs are proper, what's it called? These are cuffs that are done with a continuous lap, and this was a technique that was good to practice again because it's quite fiddly and it just feels like, you know, it feels like I'm quite an accomplished sewer doing like proper cuffs. But basically the continuous lap is the sort of piece of fabric that is inserted in here to kind of give you the opening to allow you to get your hand in and then do up the buttons again. So that was great. I've only done that once before for my previous version. And then when it's done, you end up with a nice, neat collar like this. I also sewed all the buttons on in completely the wrong place, which was a bit silly because I kind of just followed the pattern markings instead of lining up both sides of the front of the blouse and, you know, lining up the buttonholes and doing it properly. I kind of just did it and then realised it was all buttoned up wrong when I did it up for the first time, but that wasn't a big deal. It just meant I had to unpick all the buttons and sew them on again. Also, one front was slightly longer than the other when I first did the buttonholes and the buttons, but actually it turned out that a good bit of steam with my iron meant that I could kind of ease it back into being the same length, and so the top and the bottom now line up beautifully, so that was good. As with my Myosotis dress, I'm really hoping that this blouse will turn out to be quite a versatile piece. I'm hoping that it could be something that's quite smart when worn with the right outfit for work. Obviously leopard print's quite bold and out there, but I feel like if I wear it with the right things, it could be smart enough to wear for work. And I'm hoping that it's something, again, that I can layer up in the winter, but wear on its own or open over a cami in the summer. You know, this could be worn with everything from, you know, I could even have it with like, you know, long sleeve tops underneath, or even like a polo neck jumper underneath with it worn open, or it could be worn over a cami top and denim shorts in the summer. Yeah, so I'm hoping that this will get a lot of wear out of it, and I'm still very much on my quest of trying to make garments that are going to get a lot of wear out of, as opposed to just, you know, highly seasonal pieces. So there you have it, that is everything that I've sewn recently. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more of my videos. I would love to hear from you in the comments. I must apologise because I'm rubbish at getting back to comments, but I do read them all and I get so much joy reading through all your comments. You guys are just lovely and you're so helpful as well. Whenever I ask for any advice or any tips, you lot are all there always with all the answers, so thank you. And please do not be offended if I don't reply to a comment. I do read them and I really appreciate them. But yeah, I'd love to hear from you. Have you made any of these patterns? Yeah, let me know. And I'll see you next time. Bye!